I joined Bethany in 2004. I had worked on weekends at Ski Club with Dawn. In 2009, it was in November. It was actually a couple of days after my 25th wedding anniversary. My husband got sick. And that was the year of the swine flu epidemic.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, it was bad. And I just knew he had the swine flu. He went in to see Dawn, and Dawn gave him some injections and drew some blood and said, "You need to come back tomorrow. We need to check you again." And he was like, "Oh man, I'll be okay." And Dawn was like, "No, I need you to come back." Dawn called me and said, "You know, Jimmy's got an appointment at 4:30. Why don't you see if he can come in early? Get your daughter to go on and get him." And I thought,
That's not good.
that's not good. So she did. And Dawn had to look at Jimmy and tell him, "I'm sorry, you have leukemia. We're gonna get you in the hospital, and we're gonna figure this out. We're in this together." And he went into High Point. He saw Dr. Sanders. Went into High Point Hospital. Was there a week, and results come back, and it was acute myeloid leukemia, which is a really bad disease. It's really quick. At that point in time, Jimmy had 5% blast in his blood. When we got to Baptist a week later, Jimmy had 45% blast in his blood. So if Don had not been so on top of his game, we would have found out Jimmy had leukemia probably on an autopsy.
Right.
That's how fast it goes. The Bethany family supported us. It was unbelievable. They made the rubber bracelets that said "Pray for Jimmy." They sold those and gave us the money. They held a bone marrow drive. Dr. Peters was always there. He was always there, coming and saying, "You need anything? Are you okay? What can I do?" In April, Jimmy relapsed.
Did he?
Yeah. And July 17th, 2010, he went home. Not to Trinity,
Right.
but to heaven. I'll never forget. You know, people see Dr. Peters the doctor. People see Dr. Peters the businessman. And those two people have to be tough.
Oh, yeah.
They carry a large weight on their shoulders. Very few people get to see Dr. Peters the human. The soft-hearted human that cares so much about people. It drives him to be the fine doctor and the fine businessman he is. So there's always a cause and effect.
Right.
My husband was at the funeral home. So at the end of that service, I made arrangements for the gentleman to come up and escort Lauren and I out. We were sitting in that car, and I cannot tell you how alone I felt. I mean, it's like, okay, you were strong for 7 months because you had to be.
Yeah.
You've been strong through this whole service, through making the arrangements. You've had to be so strong. And right here, this second, you can't afford to break because you still have this daughter beside you, but the dam is cracking. And at that moment, the car door opened. And Dr. Peters slid in and put his arm around us and said, "It's going to be okay. I know it's hard, but you're going to be okay. We're here." That's the side
That nobody sees.
That nobody sees. That's
Make me cry.
that's the soft inside that drives and pushes everything he does to building companies, to providing jobs for over 300 people in our town, and still going, and still going. He's a visionary, but his strength comes from
His heart.
that heart. And like I said, very few people know this story, and that's one of the reasons I wanted to share, because I want people to know. Bethany is a city on the hill in Jerusalem. Bethany is heart, and the heart that beats in Bethany is Dr. Peters. So thank you for coming today, and thank you for letting me share that.
Thank you for sharing.